Welcome back to the Vegan Test Kitchen, everybody. Today we are making pancakes, but not just your everyday pancakes. We are making a Russian/European pancake, and those are called blini. So we are making buckwheat blini with a mushroom gravy. Here's what you're gonna need. For the buckwheat blini, you're gonna need chickpea flour, buckwheat flour, soy milk, sugar, yeast, salt, olive oil, apple cider vinegar, flax seeds, ground. And here's what you're gonna need for the mushroom gravy. Vegetable broth, regular flour, 10 ounces of cremini or baby bella mushrooms, 1 onion, thyme, olive oil, white wine, sage, garlic, salt. First, let's get our nifty Mr. Coffee flaxseed grinder, because that's all I use it for anymore, and grind these flax seeds. We're going to get a half cup of warm water and put it in a bowl and set it aside. Now we're going to put the soy milk into the measuring cup along with the apple cider vinegar so it curdles. We're going to set this aside. Boom. All right, now we're going to take this warm water that we have, mix it with the sugar. Now we're going to add the yeast, stir it briefly, and then set it aside so it can do its thing for 3 minutes. Now while that's doing its thing, we're going to add the flax seeds to the soy milk, to this curdled mixture, and stir well. Now in a large mixing bowl, we're going to combine the remaining ingredients, which is the buckwheat flour, chickpea flour, or garbanzo flour, salt, and the olive oil. Seems like a weird time to add this, but I've never made blini before, so. And the olive oil. And then we're going to add the soy milk mixture, and it says to mix until smooth. Alright, I think that's about as smooth as we're going to get. So now we're supposed to add the yeast mixture. We're supposed to put a towel over it and let it sit for an hour to let it rise or do whatever it's supposed to do. Okay, you're supposed to put this in a warm-ish place so it can do its thing. So we're going to stick it, do you like my Halloween towel? Zombies. We're going to stick it on the stove, because why not? And we're about to start cooking, so it should warm it up a little bit. All right, while that is waiting for us, we're going to start on the mushroom gravy. Since it's during the day and it's Sunday, probably shouldn't drink wine, so instead I'm going to drink a Bloody Mary. I have tried probably virtually every pre-made Bloody Mary mix you can find on the market. I always felt like they tasted fake. They didn't taste, like, you know, the tomato concentrate that was in it just tasted not fresh. It tasted canned, or you know what I mean? I came across this one. It's called Tres Agaves, I think that's how you say it. And it's organic, and it has real tomato, real spices, and there it says on the label. This is hands down the best pre-made mix for Bloody Marys that I've ever found. It tastes fresh. It tastes like everything in there you just made it. It tastes so good. I recommend you go out and grab this right now if you love Bloody Marys. You will not be disappointed. It's good. Now we're gonna chop the vegetables. Okay, now we're supposed to mix the vegetable broth with the flour and set aside. Just 2 cups, not the whole thing. All right, you're inevitably gonna have some lumps still left in there. Just don't worry about it, because they'll cook out when you put them in the skillet. All right, we're gonna set this aside. All right, now we're gonna get a large, large saucepan, and put it over medium-high heat. Stick the oil in there, and let it heat up for a few minutes. We forgot to chop the mushrooms. All right, while that's heating up, get your packages of mushrooms. If you didn't get the packages like where they're already sliced, then we're gonna slice them. You don't need both of these packages. They're 8 ounces each. You only need 10 ounces. This seems to be pretty hot, so we're gonna add the onion and saute for about 5 minutes until they're translucent. While that's cooking, we're gonna chop up these mushrooms just a little bit more. They're just a little bit too thick for my taste. All right, now I approve. Okay, they are translucent, so now we're gonna add the mushrooms and then saute that for 5 more minutes until they're tender. Seems like a lot of mushrooms. Okay, I think they're tender. Now we're gonna add the garlic, thyme, sage, salt, and pepper. Stir around, saute for another minute. There is nothing better than smelling sauteed onions and herbs. Ugh, just wanna dump this in my mouth. All right, it has sauteed for a minute. So Now we're gonna add the white wine and then turn the heat up to bring to a simmer. So when I make gravy, it's not usually this fancy. I'm kind of excited about it. All right, now we're gonna lower the heat and add the flour vegetable broth mixture and stir it constantly until thickened for about 5 minutes. Almost there. All right, I think it's probably about to the thickness that we like it. It's probably gonna thicken as it stands, so I'm just gonna set it off to the side, put a lid on it, let it stew in its own deliciousness. All right, we're about 10 minutes out from the blini mixture being ready to go. So we're gonna get a skillet and heat it up over medium heat. All right, now let's check the blini mixture. It said it should not be bubbling over, but it should be doing something. I do see a few bubbles around. It is doing something. It's being a little active, but not too active. So now that that's heated up, we're gonna spray this with some olive oil spray, and we're gonna stir the mixture. It's alive! It is really weird. It's I'm used to yeast being in bread mixtures, but I'm not used to it being in like a pancake mixture, which is really weird. But that's what makes a blini a blini. We're supposed to measure out 1.5 tablespoons of batter and then put it in the pan. This should be pretty quick. That mixture makes 36. These are gonna be pretty thin pancakes. So we're gonna measure out 1.5 tablespoons so we can figure out what it looks like. Okay, so if you can see that, that's probably that much. It said you should be able to get like 5 of these in there at a time. They're gonna be pretty thin, about an 1.5 inches, I think, wide is what they said. Maybe not. I might have just made that up. Yeah, I think I just made that up. Never mind. And you want to cook them just until they start bubbling. So they said, I think for about 90 seconds. I'm probably not gonna get 5 of these. I'm only gonna get 4. And if you're not gonna eat all of these all at once, then just make a whole bunch, throw them on a plate, and stick them in the fridge. Now you wanna get a spatula. They said the thinnest spatula you can find. This is the thinnest I can find, and it's metal. So I apologize. Okay, this one's pretty much stopped bubbling, so I think it's cooked. So we're gonna flip it. That one probably wasn't cooked all the way. Nor that one. That's right. And then you're gonna cook it for 90 more seconds and then just keep doing it until you don't have any more batter. I suspect that they're only gonna get better, or at least I'm gonna get better. So if your pan is not completely non-stick or things are sticking to the pan, then you should probably either spray it or get a new pan. Now, we're about to try these, so I'm gonna go ahead and stick the gravy on just for a low, this is a very, very, very low heat, just to heat it up real quick. And I did not put the right burner on, so there you go. Let's try it. So it said in the recipe to make this with the mushroom gravy and a horseradish sour cream. I didn't do the sour cream because we're gonna make that later at a different time. But I did do it with the gravy because I wanted to put something with it because it's such a light, delicate pancake. It's supposed to be kind of more like an appetizer, and it's pretty good. Try another bite. It is very delicate. The pancakes, the blini, sorry, are very lightly flavored. It's a perfect vehicle to put other things on, which is what they're there for, I think. Typically, you put things in them, roll them up, and eat them like that. I would say that these are pretty good. Since there is a decent amount of work involved, the gravy's really good. It's a little bit sweeter than I'm used to as far as my gravy goes, though. And again, I'm not typically a huge mushroom fan, but it really adds that extra texture and body to it, even though they're tender. I bet you if you made these for your friends, had like a brunch party or something, they would think you were so fancy, because they are pretty good. All right, before I cook the rest of these, I just want to say thanks again for watching. I love you guys, and if you liked what you saw, hit a thumbs up. I'd love you for it. I'll see you next time. Thanks.